broadcast that we would like to introduce you to, that we will be bringing to you here on this channel. I hope you all enjoy each of them, and please feel free to subscribe to us and follow us here, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, and WordPress, so that you can stay updated to all of our broadcasts and future upcoming broadcasts as well. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to O.T.O's Knowledge and Principles. We will be continuing off where I left off on learning to walk the tree. This one episode will be dealing with Yesod. I will leave a link, you guys can, for those that didn't catch the one about Qliphoth. You guys can check that one out. As of, I guess we'll give a brief recap for maybe some of the newer viewers. The way I'm doing this series is a little bit different from the way anybody's been taught before. This is for years of practice and learning to walk the tree. We must understand that when we walk the tree, we don't only walk what we know as the tree of life, but we also walk the Qliphoth as well. Like I said, if don't know why I've been so long getting this back out, because I was on kind of a mini vacation for about 2 months with my visiting my teacher mentor, and we discussed a few things, and we kind of discussed this, how I view it, and he said something that was kind of interesting, and it's kind of the way I do view it. You got to look at some of these, like I said when I talk about the spheres, the sephira. Each sephira is multiple realities, worlds, whatever you want to call it, dimensions. It's just a plane within a plane within a plane. So you kind of want to view this as you're learning each of the spheres. I mean, for the beginner, stick with the upper part. Ignore the Qliphoth part that I cover, because you must familiarize yourself with walking this part of the first part of the tree. Even though the tree is truthfully connected. It's all connected in Qliphoth. Starts in Qliphoth, goes down, and goes up. So when we're actually walking the tree, picture the tree as a multidimensional thing. Or picture it on your body. From your head to your growing is the upper. Then from your growing to your feet is your lower. Same way, then projected on your back. So you have multiple trees. The reason I'm breaking it down this way, because for anybody that's studied the angelic sephiros, the orders and the hierarchies of the sephirah, for the angelic side, the only thing that's missing from them is Tefera, which we'll cover in about 3 more episodes. But when you start viewing it this way, it's kind of like for anybody's watched the Omni-Meal formula that I did a while back. In a sense, you want to picture it like you picture your bubble around you. It reflects all the way around. It just keeps going. So when you're working with the tree, you're working with all energies, all properties, even the Qliphoth, whether you realize it or not. That's why I'm doing this series the way I'm doing it. So yes, it's more for not the beginner, but the beginners can still learn from this part and later revisit and apply it. Because in the end, all things are connected. All energies, frequencies in the universe, it's part of us. There's no getting away from that. You know, everybody says, "Oh, that's bad magic. That's evil." The only thing evil is your intent. Whatever your intent is makes it, whether it's good or bad, not. You know, because I can tell you right now, I could probably do something evil that you would consider evil. My intent may be good. You know, we got to stop judging things by that. We need to understand the person's intent. We need to stop putting terminology on good, bad, evil. They have no place in our way of beliefs and philosophies and teachings. I don't care what the Golden Dawn teaches. I don't care what O.T.O teaches. Because if you're being taught outside, you're not learning anything anyway. And if they teach you differently, it's like this. Within the Golden Dawn and the O.T.O and every other branch, have both. All inside the same area, learning the same thing. In the end, it is the person's intention. Nothing more, nothing less. When we start labeling things like that, all we're doing is creating division amongst our communities. And I'm getting away from that. I'm not falling victim to this. Enough's enough. And if anybody wants to teach otherwise, go ahead. That's your choice. But know that no matter what you do in life, every cosmic energy, vibration, frequency, it all is a part of you. So therefore, you have positive and negative flowing through you. Why? When you restrict one, this is the important thing, guys. When you start restricting one and putting focus on something above the other, all you're doing is stagnating your spiritual growth. You're stopping your ability to grow, because what happens is you create a combustion. What's this combustion? For lack of a better word. You're creating within yourself a friction that are opposing when everything should be flowing naturally, freely, all with one inside. So there is no, truthfully, there is no color. There is no good. There's no bad. It's energy. What makes it those things is a person's intentions. You know. So yes, I do laugh at a few people when they start talking all about them, because it, you know, at this point it's comic relief. It's what you guys have become. Because you feel that opposition inside you. You're denying the natural order of things. And part of that natural order of things is also chaos. We need the chaos. So we need to strike. This is what chaos do. It strikes us to grow and grow. So now let's get back on the topic here. Onto the tree of life. So as we travel up from Malkuth, our next destination is Yesod, the foundation, the ninth sphere of the tree of life, the sphere of the moon and the astral plane. Guys, this is where all astral magic is done. This is where all astral travel is done. It's done through the sphere of Yesod. And for those of us that's played in the astral plane, we know it's multiple planes upon multiple planes. For anybody that performs rituals and does ritual work, when we step outside of our body and work with our magical bubble, we are working in the astral plane. Now, some will say, I'm just going to say it because this is not my view on it, but you'll hear the term, here's where the term low magic, high magic comes in. Anything below the Yesod, most occultists say it is low magic. Like I said, back to putting titles on things that shouldn't have titles. It all flows, it's all part of us. There's no such thing as low and high magic. But when we're doing ritual work, when we're viewing our circle and casting, we're viewing it from the astral plane. You know. Plus, you know, we would get into correspondences and stuff. It's learning to harmonize ourselves, because once we go from Yesod, I will cover Yesod's opposite. If my computer stops crashing. So, you know, in a sense, some of my way I'm starting to teach you guys, I'm starting to open up more with the side of magic, more what Farima started to teach, the true essence, because in Thelema, that's why I disagree with all these so-called Thelema groups, and all you guys want to say 93, this and that. The truth is, the Order of Thelema was a secret order. You would not know your teacher. Why? Because you were taught, not so much astrally, but it was, in a sense, I'm going to describe it as astral, because you can be taught in the astral form. There's places you can go where you can be taught, classes, learn, where guides will come and teach. This was the beginning of Thelema. It went farther because you start getting into cyber magic, you start understanding that we don't have to even visit the astral plane. But for beginning, it's the easiest way to teach somebody, to open the door to the next stage, because cyber magic is the next paradigm of magic. So now we visit the astral plane, which is governed by the moon, which is the element is of water, and its associated goddesses are Diana, Isis, Lavona. In the aspect, Yesod is feminine, but in its aspect of the foundation of the universe established in strength. Its magical image is a beautiful naked man, very strong, and its associated god is Pan. Notice the dualities entering the picture. There's many facets. When you start opening this up first and start exploring them, you'll find that it's limitless. Those who are watching, feel free to comment, ask questions if you want. I will kind of keep monitoring chat a little bit, and I will answer your questions. And we just, as timing bout, right? We just came off Balte, and the spring equinox, which is all entitled and attributed to the moon, to Pan. So our the holidays for the spring, and the midsummer festival, Balte, because it's the midpoint to summer. Now you can start to see where these energies come in. Yesod is the link between the manifest world of Malkuth and all the non-material levels of which It purifies the emanations and offers a vision of the maddening of the universe. Kabbalistic symbols, perfumes and sandals, tarot, knives, the beams of Ched and Geburah meet in Yesod, and thence arises in Yesod a brilliant violet, purple, or puce, and the third triad is complete. Now, when we start talking these triads, when I go on to its opposite, picture these triads as 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 dimensional, going straight out through infinity on all directions and all sides from every compass point. That's how you should look at this. And the sphere of its operation is that of Levana, the lunar beam bestowing change, increase, and decrease upon created things. And it ruleth the sphere of action of the moon, the nature of mankind. And Shaddai is a god who sheddeth benefits omnipotent and satisfying. And El Kai, or Shai, I pronounce it maybe a little bit different from most because it feels right with my vibrations. That's another way when you start pronouncing the God names and words of power. Keep repeating them. You'll feel it. For me, when I say Shaddai Al-Kai, I don't feel the energy as when I say Shaddai Al-Shai. I can feel the energy as I speak the words. Which is another thing. Once you find the vibration, start teaching yourself to say it out loud. Me, I learned the opposite. I learned from silence to loud. Oddly enough, learning the silent part was easier than the loud part. I'm backwards for most people. But that's another way to do things. Because when you reverberate these names, you want them to echo throughout the universe and have it feel the vibration coming back to you. As you're doing so, what are you doing? You're opening the sphere. Your vibrations resonating and opening the doors where all the knowledge and wisdom lieth for you to access. So, El, or Al, Kai is the god of life, the living one. Its archangel is Gabriel, the prince of change and alteration, and some may even say the reaper. And the name of its order of angel is Cherubim, or Cherubic, ones who are also called the order of angels. You know, most of us spend more time in Yesod than we do any sphere, which truthfully we should be spending all of our time in Tiferet. That's where our chair is. That's where we take our seat. That is our heart. That's our crown. That's the center. Until we start fully walking it, and become the flaming sword, or the serpent that walks, traverses the tree. Then we start dealing with Dot, which is the abyss. The hidden sphere that you don't see on most trees of life. And I will mind you, there is an opposite of it too. But most of our time, most people's time, especially those that practice more earth-based magic, they don't have a desire to go farther than Yesod because everything they need is right, can be accessed from right here. That's why they say, low magic, high magic, which I find offensive. because, like I have stated earlier and will state probably repetitively throughout this course, all energy is a part of us, so therefore there's no such thing as low and high magic. We're still using all the sphere, whether we realize it or not. We're using the Qliphoth, whether we realize it or not. So when I walk the tree or when I ascend the tree, I'm truthfully ascending both. Now, I stated in the early video, my teacher kind of corrected me on that, but which, yeah, that's good. Even I'm not the best student anyway, but even I realized, and it took many years to realize these truths. It took many years exploring each of the Sephirah, walking them, learning, and to this day. I mean, we're never going to stop learning to the day we die. New insights, new wisdoms will be enlightened upon us as we continue our work. You know, but as you can see, another reason why Yesod is called the foundation. It is, in a sense, we still very much integrity of it. No matter what we perform, whether it be Kabbalist, Druidic, Wiccan, we all, that ain't good. Make sure I'm still streaming here, guys. Okay, I'm still live. We all use the astral. I mean, there's another part. Even from the astral, we can even reach higher. We'll discuss that later when we deal with Keither and the starry heavens. So now we're going to jump into the Qliphoth, its opposite. So as we enter the Qliphoth, Yesod, Gemel, the obscene one. The Qliphoth aspect of Yesod is represented by a distorted or destructive sense of fertility. On a plain physical level, this signifies the sexual urge, which is never satisfied but always demanding new and stronger stimuli, and thus consuming vitality and creativity without offering anything in return. The more general idea of this Qliphoth, however, is an act of creation, which is not based on an intention of beauty in a sense to Pharaoh, and thus fails to generate a creature of beauty. The Qliphoth of Yesod is called Gamael or Gamael. It can be translated as the obscene ones. Gamael is the Qliphoth associated with the Sephiroth Yesod on the Kabbalistic tree of life. It translates as the obscene ones, and the demons associated with Yesod is the Sephirah that collects all the energy from the Sephiroth above it, stores these archetypal and ideas in the unconsciousness, and expresses them in their correct time. It is associated with the sexual organs, unconscious sexual desires. It can be seen that without the correct expression of the images stored in Yesod, either through physical expression in Malkuth, or by transcending them into Tiferet, an unhealthy sexual repression exists. It is believed that priests who choose to become celibate and that molesting children do this because they did not know how to correctly channel and balance the energy in Yesod. The unconscious imagery in Yesod therefore becomes more and more perverse, eventually becoming Gamel, the obscene. Lilith's influence continued into the next Qliphoth. Here she has taken a more personified shape as the ruling demoness of Gamel. The position of Lilith on Gamel plays an important part in her role as the queen of the world, and it is from here that she controls the world by being its hidden underlying force. Gamel is the shadow of Anamai Monday, the world soul. Gamel is the dream sphere and the dark side of Yesod. The dreams that man normally cannot or does not wish to remember in the waking state can be found within Gamel. These dark dreams have a revealing character and expose the sides of oneself that one might not want to accept. The dark dreams are censored by the superego and are represented by Gamel Qliphoth. Thus, Gamel is the Qliphoth of the dark dreams. I'd like to get into this section just a little bit more in detail. Especially when we're talking about the superego and how we discussed how it brings out the things that we would normally see in ourselves. So, like when we do go through the process of the destruction of the temple as a neophyte or an adept, we are walking more of or seeing more of the Qliphoth as it shows those darker sides of us that we tend to ignore or try to say that doesn't exist. Like I previously stated, we're a part of all things, all energies, all frequencies, all vibrations are a part of us. And when we start denying one and putting focus on the other by labels, this and that, we are causing strife within ourselves, imbalance, to where our energies are in conflict when they should be flowing naturally through us. There should be no importance of color, positive, negative. They're there. They're a part of us. They're part of all things. And, as we need to break away from these concepts, because these very concepts are what everyone uses is to keep us chained and enslaved and bound. We're not free when we are constantly labeling things. Because in the end, guys, no matter what you do, it is your intent that makes it something or other. There's no such thing as color in magic, period. Anybody that teaches you this way is teaching you to be a slave, to enslave to a system that will generate to where, oh, they're Wiccan, so they don't follow our practices, so they're not part of us. No, we're all pagans, we're all heathens, we're all heretics. We're all supposed to be free thinkers. We're all supposed to be free. We're supposed to be in harmonized with one another. And these are just some of the things that are shown to you in Yesod, even in the Qliphoth. Because as I stated, there is only one tree. It's each Sephiroth correlates to the other. As we've seen, there's a duality to multiple things. There's more than just duality. So when we start entering the Sephiroth, we start realizing there's multiple dimensions, realms, existences. It's just a doorway for information to go learn, especially when we're dealing with Yesod, which we're dealing with the astral part. And as you can see, I'm reading from a lecture that I wrote years ago, that these two different sides are just but one side. It's like a coin. You flip a coin, you have the back side, you have the front side, but it's still one coin. The magician will reach an understanding of the structures of the basic instincts and learn how to use sexuality for magical progression. Gemiel is, above all, the sphere of forbidden sexuality, while Adam and Eve represent sexuality of a dutiful nature, whose purpose is reproduction. Lilith and her demonic lovers corresponds to an entire initiatory sexuality in which the forces of Eros is used to reach higher states of mind. A dark magician's enter Gemiel becomes fully aware of the mechanisms of sexuality and thus ceases to be enslaved under hidden instincts. The origin of the lust is also revealed in this Qliphoth. Now, as we read on, we're going to start getting into, for those that haven't, might want to go check out the structure, the basic structures of the psychic, the Omni-Meal formula. Because now we're starting to deal with these things. When I was talking about the superego, what is the superego? Well, the superego is, and this description is more of the censor, the palace guard. As we put it to sleep, we allow our unconscious to merge with our conscious mind, to flow within unison. Which will allow us to be able to enter an astral state or a dream state while awakened and conscious. The Sephira, Yesod, and the Gemiel Qliphoth both belong to the astral sphere. Everyone leaves the physical body at night during sleep. These experiences are part of the deeper dreams that are generally forgotten. For a magician, it is great importance to remember these dreams in order to control them and consciously reach the astral plane. The magician attempts to travel through a normal astral spheres that are represented by Yesod and move towards the deeper and darker regions that belong to Gemiel. During astral journeys to the erratically magnetized world of Gemiel, the magician will encounter the succubus and incubus, female and male demonic lovers. They will invite the magician to an astral orgy in which even the smallest of the magician's desires will be revealed. If giving into weakness, the magician may be vampirized and left as an empty shell without energy. The magician must instead strive to use the orgy to reach ecstatic states of mind and release the soul. Yesod corresponds to the moon. Gemiel corresponds to the dark side of the moon. Now we can see within correspondences how we have the waning and waxing moon phases, where one represents the Yesod and the other represents Gemiel. This side has often been connected with witches and their craft. The witch cult was a sexual religion with orgastic elements. Blood was an essential part of this cult, since the phases of the moon correspond to the menstrual cycle. The monthly blood corresponds to the fertility and life and its constant revelation to death. Menstruation is a sign of life that is lost in the blood. Eve represents the fertile phases, while Lilith represents the menstruation phases. The moon is both death and sexuality. The entities that have been associated with the sphere have elements of both sexuality and blood. The magician sacrifices his own blood and sexual fluid that can be found in several of the rituals of witchcraft that are associated with Gemiel. I want to get into something else real quick here while we're on this subject. I want everyone to fully understand and be aware. Yes, I am speaking of some demonic forces, but I'm also speaking of angelic forces when we're dealing with this affair in general. I mean, what are demons? They're the fallen angels. So we're still dealing with an angelic force, however you want to label it. But here's the most important thing, guys, especially when we're talking about the vampirism, trading of fluids, or giving something in exchange. That's a no. You don't. I don't care how much they say. No. In the end, you must remember this one very important fact. We have dominion over all things on heaven and earth. Every entity, elemental entity, angelic, demonic, creature, animal, they are subjugated unto us and must obey our commands. There is no trading or giving of information. Giving of energy in exchange for what they will do the job, because it is our will and it's what we command them to do. I have a tendency to show respect, but also shut. But I'm not going to be persuaded or pushed, because in the end, it is my command, and they have to obey. That must be your mind state when dealing with any entity or creature or being. You are the master. You are the god and goddess. You are giving the powers to command. The gods of the witch cult belonging to Gimel, Pan, Dionysus, Frey, Baphomet, and the medieval devil, all are phallic deities, often horned or in the shape of a goat. Among the feminine deities, we find mainly dark moon goddesses such as the Greek Hecate, the goddess of witches and phantoms, or the goddess who represents eroticism and sorcery such as Freya, but also goddesses of death like Persephone and the Old Norse Hel. Vampiric beings can be found within Gimel and are characterized by the combination of life and death, blood and sexuality. Vampires and other entities that in myth combined Eros and Thanatos, sexuality and death, haunt Gimel. The vampiric forces of Gimel strive to channel the life forces deeper into the Qliphoth tunnels. The process is enabled when the sexual energy is awakened through the erotic dreams and visions transmitted by Gimel. The life energy streams down into the Qliphoth underworld and nourishes the forces that are brooding there. In this process, the magician works like an alchemist and must tread deep down into the dark to find the philosopher's stone or the elixir of life. The adept must follow this course consciously and with control. If this occurs unconsciously, one's personal power might be lost in the unknown. The magician could be left behind in a zombie-like state and would have to become a vampire to attract energy from others. Now, we see the classic mythos, such as vampires and other psychic type entities. And we can see how vampires have gotten through the years and history of how the myth has grown and the legends have become what they are. In a sense, what is blood? Blood is energy. What is energy? Energy is energy, guys. Our souls are energy. Every aspect of this is energy. Every part of the world is energy. We'll commonly encounter, for those that understand and know about empath, a new empath who's just beginning to learn, may not even know what they are, and don't know how to control their abilities, are, in a sense, psychic vamps. They don't mean to, but they do it until they learn to control. They're always taking energy unconsciously. So once again, even with the empathic side, we see our works do enter the Gimel on the Qliphoth. and we see how the vampires become the legend of today, even though it is a myth. In a sense, we all are capable of being vampires. And once more, it goes on to show you must be in control. You must be in command. Any show of weakness or any chink in your armor could leave you in a zombie-like state, or leave you drained of your vitality. The magical work at Qliphoth is of an astral nature. It includes astral traveling, conscious streaming, and conjuring of the succubus and the incubus. To explore Qliphoth, one could use one's discipline to stay awake for a couple of days, something that may cause vivid dreaming or vivid dream images to arise. A magician should also experiment with sexual abstinence for extended periods of time to increase the sexual energy and thus enable a stronger contact with Qliphoth. For those that haven't watched my video or read my lecture on, what is it? It's part of the, I'm still working on it, but it's going to be part of the complete paradigms of magic. But like I said, we have the structure, the basic structure of the psyche. Second, I think it's in the basic structure of the psyche, where it breaks down how to enter certain states through meditation. Because all we're doing is entering our subconscious minds in different states of trance and gnosis. And this covers abstinence, staying awake, flagellation, pain. Like I said, I have the video. I'll leave a link in the description when I repost this, since this section of the recording last night didn't record. The focus of the meditation of abstinence should be the, I can't pronounce it, Sanskrit, but the root chakra, guys, which is located at the genitals. This chakra corresponds to the Yesod and is compared to an orange lotus flower. The magician should especially focus on the backside or inside of the chakra. The state reached by this operation is very suitable for conjuring succubus and incubus, but above all, the demon empress Lilith herself. Those can be conjured through the incantation mentioned above, which I did not put in here, nor will I put in here. She appears as a beautiful naked woman. Sometimes she appears with a serpent's body from the waist down. In some instances, Lilith might appear as a vampire queen or a spider woman weaving a web of dreams. For D&D players, Lot is Lilith. The artist Franz von Stock, 1863 to 1928, made beautiful portraits depicting sinful naked women appearing together with naked serpents. Also, artists like Gustav Klimt and John Kohler have, with their paintings, presented a view into the dark but seductive world of Lilith that one can experience on Qliphoth. But as you guys can see, the more I get into this, the more you see it. When we're walking the tree, and we're going up the tree, we are just not drawing the forces of what most of us consider the tree of life, but we're also working with the Qliphoth forces, because it is part of the tree. It's all one tree, guys. So when we go up, we're drawing all the energies up. As we enter each sphere of the tree and we open more and more, we are opening ourselves up to wisdom's knowledge. We're seeing all the things of Yesod, or Malkuth, or Had, Meshach, Tifereth, and on, as we'll cover as we keep going. So when we properly walk the tree, we are drawing on all the forces. And both. Now I kind of want to stop at saying both, because truthfully there's only one tree. The tree is multiple. Picture it in a 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional, 6, 7, 8-dimensional thing. It goes, best way to put it, think of a compass. For every compass point, there's a tree that surrounds us. Like, it emanates from us. From each of those trees, there's another tree and another tree, and then best way to look at it, understand the philosophy, but they're all connected. They're all one. So when I walk up the tree or walk down it, I'm traversing both. I am one with both. I'm allowing the energies to flow in their natural process and freely. By doing so, the more I interact with each sphere, the more it opens up, more doors open, more knowledge and wisdom that is transferred upon me. You know, the concept of light or dark, they're all in the Sephira. It's not a Qliphoth as your life. It's one thing. That's, I guess, the most important thing I'm trying to get you guys to understand. I may stop harping on this, but I doubt it, because in many ways this is what's caused so much division. We start putting labels on things. We try to be, in a sense, what we call community tries to be politically correct. You know, there's always going to be some bad apples. Like I think I stated in this section, which didn't get recorded last night, I also stated how every group, every organization, O.T.O, Golden Dawn, Wiccans, Druids, they all, when they're in their temples, you see both. They're both learning from the same schools, from the same teachings. So, it's just, when they do their work, what is their intent? It is their intent that makes something that's seen, but even in that person's eyes, he may not be doing something evil. He'd be doing something good. So you guys must realize that we need to break away from these labels. Completely sever the chains that are being used to bind us and control us. The information is there, guys. Don't be scared to look. But at the same time, always remember, you are in command. You have dominion over all things. So be the gods and goddesses that you are, and free yourself from those that wish to keep you bound and control you. Next Monday, I will be covering Had, and its opposite. Wednesday night, I will be doing meditation. It's going to be on music. Like I said, I've changed all my stream channels now, that when I go live will be at 9 o'clock. Except for Saturdays, I'm going to still keep the 7 o'clock time slot. Just because sometimes those open night discussions have a tendency to go for 8 hours. So like I said, I try to do it when I'm live. If you guys want to ask questions, ask. I'll answer. Interact with you. That's what this is about. Learning from each other. Learning from each other's views and ideas. No one's got the right answers, because a magician takes parts of different structures and makes it his own. That's what makes each of us unique. Just like the LBR, or banishing, most magicians will rewrite it to fit them to where it's theirs. Just like alphabets that we discussed previously. We create our own alphabets. Why they are ours? That means they have that much more power. For you to use one of mine, it might not have that power. Just like I stated before, when you pronounce words of power, keep pronouncing them until you feel the energy vibrate out and back and forth after it is said. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I've been enjoying doing this. Like I said, I'm back now from vacation, so Videos will be flowing regularly, and I will be uploading new content as well, since it is getting close, since it is getting warm out, and there's a lot of work to be done out around here and outside. And I know a lot of people want to enjoy the evenings as well. I'm also going to be uploading stuff in the weeks and months to come. Got a few new projects in the workings. So if you guys enjoy this, like, share the videos, guys. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you get the notifications when I upload videos or go live. Because I'm pretty much stopping posting all over Facebook and the many groups I'm in, because it just takes about 45 minutes for me to set everything up before I go live. Sending the links out, getting people involved. You guys want to, I put my PayPal information. Anybody wants to donate, feel free. Don't have to, not a requirement. My information's free, so is my teachings, but it does help. Especially right now, I'm not working, and basically what I'm going to do with any donations is going back into the stream for better streaming equipment. Like right now, I'm struggling. I had an issue with Hangouts last night. It showed me streaming for 56 minutes, but I guess it stopped at 28 minutes. Said my computer went to sleep. So Hangouts I found out later, Hangouts was just screwing up. Other people had the same issues last night. My XSplit doesn't really, I don't have a good enough connection to stream live from XSplit, so I use XSplit to do recordings. Right now my XSplit ain't working, so I'm having to piece this together on my actual production software, which I'm still playing with and learning. So, like I said, if you guys donate, like I said, it's going to go to things like that, so I can live stream outside, or upcoming events I plan on doing, some paranormal stuff in places I used to visit and go to and do things. A little bit of that takes a little bit of money for gas and paying for hotspot so I can live stream. Got many projects in the works, so if you guys want to donate, support this channel, you guys are welcome to. If not, no biggie. I still find ways to put these videos out, don't I? But like I said, like, share, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I will see many of you Wednesday night and Saturday night, and look for a couple of videos to come out later this week that I am working on, that I won't be doing live, but I'll be bringing. Like I said, I'm going to start bringing some of the other things that you see in the opening video of this, like myth and urban legends and things. I've got a couple ones. I'm going to do a little something on the fallen ones with some of my own theories. Plus, now, after doing this, I'm also going to do something on the myths of vampires and some of the other entities and creatures that we find in mythology, that we can find their origins within the occult communities and how they become the myths and legends that they are today. So, sorry for the technical difficulties last night, but here's the finished product. Hope you guys all enjoy it. And feel free to comment, send me a message. Links are everything's in the description that you need. And look forward to interacting with you guys. I hope you guys all have a good afternoon and a good evening. And may you all be blessed.